Hi friends, today we will be having a brief discussion on the topic tremors. It is one of the hyperkinetic disorder. So we will first see what are the various hyperkinetic disorders. Then we will see what is the etiology and pathophysiology behind tremors. We will see the tremors of Parkinson disease and most importantly what are essential tremors. So let's begin. Now, when we consider the hyperkinetic disorders, we have various type of disorders. First is tremor. So, tremor is a rhythmic oscillation of a body part due to intermittent muscle contraction. Basically, it is alternating contraction of agonist as well as antagonist muscles in an oscillating and rhythmic manner. Second one is dystonia. So this is involuntary, patterned, sustained or repeated muscle contraction which is often associated with twisting movements and abnormal posture. So two very important examples of dystonia are blepharospasm and torticollis, which are regularly seen in clinical practice. Now the third one is athetosis. It is a slow, distal, writhing involuntary movement with a propensity to affect the arms and hands. This represents a form of dystonia with increased mobility. So when we explain athetosis, this is like this. Chorea is rapid, semi-purposeful, graceful, dance-like non-pattern involuntary movement which involves distal or proximal muscle groups. When the movements are large amplitude and predominant proximal distribution, it is known as bellism. And therefore, we get the term hemibellismus. Myoclonus is a sudden, brief, jerk-like arrhythmic muscle twitch. Finally, tic is a brief, repeated, stereotyped muscle contraction that can often be suppressed for a short time. These can be simple and involve a single muscle group or complex and affect range of motor activities. So we can see vocal tics in clinical practice in Tourette syndrome. Now let's go into detail of tremors. First of all, tremors are alternating contractions of agonist and antagonist muscles in an oscillating rhythmic manner. Now when we consider the types of tremor, these can be resting tremors, in which the tremors are most prominent at rest, which is usually seen in Parkinson's disease. There can be postural tremor when the tremors are present on assuming a particular posture. There can be kinetic tremor on actively reaching for a target, or there can be action tremor on carrying out a movement. So when we discuss the essential tremors, these are usually postural or action tremors, and kinetic tremors are usually due to cerebellar disorders. Also, action tremors can be due to cerebellar disorders. Tremors may also be characterized based on what is the distribution. So when we define a type of tremor, it can be defined according to the distribution. What is the frequency of movement of the muscles? What is the amplitude? And finally, what is the related neurological dysfunction? So what are physiologic tremors? Since the term is physiologic, this is usually present in normal individuals. Therefore, normal individuals can have physiological tremors. These typically manifest as mild, high frequency. The frequency is around 10 to 12 Hz, and these are usually postural or action tremors. This typically affects the upper limbs and spares the lower limb. Now, these physiological tremors is of no clinical consequence and is often appreciated only under the stress. But when these physiological tremors are enhanced, these are troublesome. Why? Since it can affect 10% of the population and it can be due to anxiety, fatigue, metabolic disturbances like hyperthyroidism and dyselectrolytemia. These can also be due to drugs like valproate or lithium, and toxins like caffeine, smoking, as well as alcohol. Now, when we consider the treatment of these tremors, it is basically directed at controlling the underlying disorder which we are discussing. If some drug is considered which can be beneficial in controlling enhanced physiological tremors, these are beta blocker, that is propranolol. So it will basically suppress the anxiety and the accompanying physiological tremors. Now, when we discuss the tremors related to Parkinson's disease, these are resting tremors that are present only at rest and disappears when the patient starts the movement. The frequency is 4 to 6 Hz. It usually begins unilaterally. This is a very important point. First distally from the digits and wrist, giving a characteristic pill rolling tremor. Now, after it has begun in the digits and wrist, it will spread proximally, ipsilateral, and occasionally to leg before crossing to the other side. In the later stages of the disease, it can involve lips, tongue, as well as jaw, but spares head and neck. This is a very important point, that it will spare the head and neck. Now, coming on to the most important discussion of this lecture, what are essential tremors? It is the most common movement disorder which is present in almost 5% of the population, and it can be present even in childhood, but increased dramatically after 70 years of age. Now, these are usually postural or action tremor, that is, these will not be present during the rest, but as the patient starts doing some action or assumes a posture, these tremors will appear. These are high frequency in nature, that is 6 to 10 Hz. These predominantly affects the upper limbs. These are usually bilateral and symmetric, but in some cases this can be unilateral as well as asymmetric. In severe cases, these can even interfere with functions such as eating and drinking. These are also known as intentional tremors, and most importantly, these can affect head and neck as well. And in 30% cases, these can affect head. In 20% cases, these can affect the voice, and 20% cases can affect the tongue as well. Now, very important point is, these are improved by alcohol and worsened by stress, and neurological examination is absolutely normal. Now, when we consider the difference with Parkinson's disease, how can we differentiate the tremors of Parkinson's disease from essential tremors? So, the tremors of Parkinson's disease will stop at the onset of motion or any movement. On the other hand, these will begin, the essential tremors will begin on movement. The Parkinson disease tremors will be associated with other features of disease like rigidity, bradykinesia, as well as postural instability. When we consider handwriting, the handwriting in Parkinson's disease is very small. This is known as micrographia. On the other hand, there is macrographia in patients of essential tremors, that is very big and large handwriting. Finally, the Parkinson's disease tremors spares the head and neck, and it is involved in essential tremors. Now, when we consider the etiology and pathophysiology of essential tremors, it is usually not known, but 50% cases have positive family history, and it carries autosomal dominant inheritance. Now, when we consider the pathology, it is usually thought to be present in cerebellum and inferior olivary nucleus. Since these are the tremor pacemakers, these are known as tremor pacemakers of the brain, and typically when we see the histology, there will be loss of Purkinje cells in the cerebellum. Now finally coming to the treatment of essential tremors, it is a very common condition and the treatment is also very important. Everyone should know the treatment of this condition. Many cases are mild and will require no treatment other than reassurance. Just we have to reassure the patient and tell him to take less stress. Occasionally, tremor can be severe and interfere with eating, writing, and activities of daily living, in which we will have to give the treatment to this patient. So, the most important drugs are beta blockers. So, we can prescribe propranolol in a dose of 20 to 120 milligram daily in divided doses, but it is absolutely contraindicated in patients having bradycardia or asthma. Now, when we consider the treatment with propranolol, hand tremors will respond very well. These are the most improved, and the refractory one are head tremors. So, these are the least improved on beta blockers. Second one is primidone. It is given with a starting dose of 12.5 milligram and gradually up to 250 milligram TDS. So it is started in small dose to avoid sedation, nausea, and dizziness. This can also be prescribed in patients of essential tremors. Some other drugs thought to be effective are gabapentin, topiramate. Also, botulinum toxin can be injected if the tremors are affecting the voice, that is in voice tremors, as well as these can be used in limb tremors as well. Now, surgery of ventro-intermediate nucleus of thalamus is done for severe as well as drug resistant cases, and finally we can do focal ultrasound for these tremors. Thank you so much.